evening, beautiful people of YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I'm sorry I'm late this time. I just spent 5 minutes in the studio looking for the Tyranid Codex because we're talking Tyranids this week. It's Tyranid release week, and I discovered that Joe's taking it home with him. So I don't have the Codex key, which is fine because we don't strictly need the Codex to talk about what we're about to talk about. First of all, thank you so much for joining us on this fine Wednesday evening, and what a fine Wednesday evening it's been in the UK. If I look a little bit shiny, it's disgusting in this office. The last time I checked, it was like, well, this afternoon at least, it was 32, 33 degrees sat in here. It's not very nice at all. And we're in the UK. We don't have the luxury of things like air conditioning. So things like Super Chats tonight will probably go towards new pants or something, because I could probably wring these out right now. But thank you so much for joining us on this fine Wednesday evening. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash all those magical YouTube buttons. Hit that like if you like the content, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified every single time we go live or drop a new video. Over 400 likes last night before the end of the stream. You guys are absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. That stream has actually done really well today. We're really pleased. It's partly because of your support during the stream that the old algorithm then goes, oh, people like this. It was a good stream. And they show it to more people, and it's just amazing. So thank you so much for your incredible support. As usual, we have the normal 100 member target for the stream tonight. It's all about the incoming studio in the near future. So if you support us by becoming a member or gifting memberships or even super chatting, you are literally directly impacting the future of the channel right now, because we've got a lot of plans for the new studio, and I've decided I'm not going to crowdfund it because I don't like the way it feels. I don't like it. I don't like the optics. I talked about it a bit. I didn't get a great feeling. We're not going to crowdfund. So literally by donating to the channel, you are directly helping support us. You're amazing people. Furthermore, I have mead tonight, and I know it's hot as shit, but this is about the only thing I've got that's fucking chilled. So this is what I'm drinking, quite frankly, because it's cold, all right? How are you all doing on this fine Wednesday evening? Let us know where you're from, what you're doing, and if you were also sweating like I am right now, which is unpleasant. I know how Joe feels most evenings right now, so, you know. I can kind of sympathise with him for a bit at the moment. Anywho, tonight we're going to talk about, right, Codex Tyranids. So we did a review of Codex Tyranids on the channel on Saturday, and then we followed up with our first battle report last night. And yesterday was almost as hot as today. You'll notice that our battle report just worked. Just throwing it out there. Just worked. We did all 5 turns. Everything was good, even in the heat. And then tonight we're going to talk about Codex Tyranids, and we're going to talk about whether, from what we've seen so far, we think this is a positive sign for things to come in 10th edition Warhammer 40k. I have kind of my thoughts and feelings on it, but as usual with things like the 40k show and things like 40k After Dark, I like to hear from you people as well. So if you really want to be heard, you can chuck it in on a big colourful postcard. If it's $10 US dollars specifically or more, Amy will read it out to us all. Sometimes you can get us to say naughty words, but Amy will read it out to us all, and I will obviously respond to every single super chat or membership or gifted membership that comes in. So if you do super chat less than 10, don't worry. It's not like I'm not going to read it out. I will get to it. It's just that it doesn't interrupt me, so I can get to it when I feel like it. It depends on the amount. I'm joking. In the meantime, Talk. I have missed you, you darling human being. I've seen that it is your birthday, so happy birthday and balloons for Talk in chat today. He is on his 30th, 20th birthday. So everyone say happy birthday to Talk. Thank you, Leaks, for the gifted. You're a legend. And thank you, Talk, for the 2, who then says 50th birthday. I wasn't going to give your age away, Talk. I wasn't going to give your age away. You've just done that now. Happy birthday to Talk, who's an absolute legend, who is with us since near the start of us streaming on YouTube. Anyway, thank you, beautiful people. So, Codex Tyranids. So I've sat with the book for some time now. So as I'm sure you guys are probably aware, we got it a few weeks before Saturday so that we could kind of digest it, read it, get ready for it, build the new models, etc. Okay, so we've had it for a few weeks, and I skimmed it when we first got it, and I think Joe probably did some more reading into it. I then skimmed it again when we had the physical book before Saturday, just to prep for the stream, and then we went through it in more detail on Saturday. And this, I think, potentially could be indicative of what is coming in 10th edition going forward from codexes. So how does it differ to what we've seen in the past? How does it differ to 9th edition? Some of this we already know, but we're going to go over it anyway, right? Because it makes sense to go over it anyway. So
last night's stream was awesome. Those 4-1s. What an ending.
it was that, Rimney, thank you for the 10 by the way, is 40k, right? That is why we love 40k. So what's different from 9th to 10th edition? Well, GW has kind of hinted at some of this stuff in the past, and we kind of knew loosely what they were trying to do, but this is the first time we've actually got physical proof of what they're trying to do, or what they have actually done. So in the past, in 9th edition, you had a hodgepodge of different chapter tactics or craft world attributes or orc clans or whatever, and each one of them would typically give you a unique detachment ability, a warlord trait, a relic, a stratagem perhaps, and that was it. You then had your generic faction abilities, and you had a monumental pool of stratagems, warlord traits, relics, psychic powers, and what have you. And that was kind of the way it worked. And some of the attributes would say that certain units, so Southampton, for example, would suggest that Eldar biker units gained a buff, and some of them just applied to every unit in your army, no matter what it was, okay? So if you were running Southampton, it made sense to kind of go hard in on things like Shining Spears, etc., because of the buff and the abilities that it gave you. But actually, on the whole, I would suggest that the majority of faction abilities were kind of not that purposefully shoehorning you into a very, very specific build. That's not to say that there wasn't specific builds. There absolutely were specific builds, and the competitive players, as they always will go, well, this is the best build, so this is what we're going to run. And it's not that the detachment is telling you to do that, but that kind of just makes sense at the point to become the best build for that book. In comes Codex Tyranids with 10th edition. Now, we'd already been told by Games Workshop in 10th edition, we've seen this a little bit with the data cards as well, and the kind of indexing of everything that had gone on, that they were going to remove, supposedly, this giant pool of stratagems, this giant pool of relics, this 6 warlord traits, 6 psychic powers, and all that kind of stuff. And what they did was they gave all of us an army rule, a detachment rule, 6 stratagems, and 3 enhancements. And enhancements nowadays are kind of like a combination of warlord traits and relics, but called enhancements so that we don't have any kind of hangover from the previous edition. They removed psychic powers, they put them in as abilities, and for the big data sheet, I say big data sheets, it seems like every single data sheet has got one, but they gave special abilities to units. So Eldrad, for example, has Doom, which used to be a psychic power, it's just an innate ability now. Codex Tyranids is the first time we have seen anything more than the standard that came out in the first indexing. And what Codex Tyranids has done is proven exactly what GW have said to us. So we now have 6 detachments in Codex Tyranids, and each of those 6 detachments has 6 stratagems, 3 enhancements, and 1 set of detachment abilities. You have your overriding army ability, which will never actually change, and you will always have that one overarching army ability. But your detachment ability changes depending on the build. Now, if we look at Codex Tyranids again, there is a couple of them specifically, actually, that mean that the stratagems and even the detachment ability only really impact one type of unit with one type of keyword, whether that be Endless Multitude, Monster even. Some of the other ones, however, have some differences whereby they do allow you to use it on all units, a la the Vanguard detachment that we saw last night from Joe. We've obviously got the refreshed data sheets, including some of the new ones, some slight tweaks to data sheets that did exist in the first Codex. So is this what we can expect from 10th edition? Well, my answer genuinely is a yes and a no. In terms of, are we going to continue to see detachment plug out, detachment plug in, so remove your Oath of Moment and plug in a different detachment? Yeah, I think we're going to see that. I think that's going to continue to be the case. I think we're going to continue to see 6, 7 detachments, and you being able to run all of your army and detachment rules essentially off of 2 pages. And I think that's really positive. I think when that happens, you're going to lose access to stratagems, you're going to lose access to enhancements, and you will only gain access to the stratagems and enhancements of the detachment that you've picked. I'm actually all for this. I think this is a positive change. I think having 6 specific stratagems for your particular army is good. And I think having those 6 stratagems on top of the rest of them, which are all core, is also good for your opponent, because your opponent is not going to be bamboozled by some crazy stratagem that you pulled out your backside. A word of warning, however, I think it could be possible to be playing a specific detachment for a few months, decide, I'm done with that specific detachment now, I'm going to switch it up to a different detachment, only to find that you then play a stratagem because you go, I remember I've got this stratagem, I'm going to use this stratagem, only to find out that that was actually from a different detachment. So just be wary, be warned, it might be worth double checking. You can have the card in front of you, but just be cautious that people are used to having so many access to stratagems. They might be like, I've still got Armor of Contempt, and they might not actually have Armor of Contempt. Okay, but in that regards, I think that's going to be the same. What I'm not sold on is what happens with datasheets. And I'll explain what I mean. Codex Tyranids will have gone to print before the launch of 10th edition. We know this. It must be the case. They must have gone to print before the launch of 10th edition, right? Without failure. So some of the datasheets, a lot of the datasheets, a lot of the abilities won't have changed from the index cards because they won't have been played enough by the general public. I think what we're going to see is some of the codexes who haven't probably yet gone to print might be getting some adjustments and amendments. And there's some things that I'm thinking off the top of my head. They wanted to tone down lethality. They seem to have 100% achieved their goal with melee because it bounces. Everyone's got fucking soft boxing gloves on at the moment. Nothing's sharp. Look at the AP across the board for melee. Nothing is sharp right now. But I don't feel like they've done the same or achieved the same with range firepower. So one of two things is going to happen. They're going to tone range firepower down, or they're going to improve melee again, in my opinion, is what I think they're going to do. So I think Tyranids is a positive sign on the whole because I genuinely like the concept of plugging in and out your detachments, your stratagems, and your enhancements. But I am concerned, shall we say, that we may start to see what is more commonly referred to as a form of codex creep, because some of what they've done, I think, for the launch of 10th edition hasn't quite hit the mark. That's interesting. On the whole, though, if I look at what they've done with the detachments, if I look at the options that they've given us with the detachments and the way they're trying to build those detachments from Tyranids, and I think they're going to get better and better and better at this, but if I look at what they've done so far with Tyranids, I actually think this is a massive positive step in the right direction, because they genuinely do look like they have tried to make narrative choices and give people... I feel like, especially for the narrative player, there isn't a single detachment in that Tyranid Codex that's unusable. Some, I think, are obviously clearly better than others. So let's remove tournament players from this for just a moment, and let's just look at the narrative player, or the player who plays casually. Every detachment in that book, I feel like, has some play and has usability in a Tyranid's army. I think that's a really nice place to be. It's no longer, I think, going to be the days of I'm hoping it's no longer the days of I've received a codex, 6 attachments, blah, 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 blah. I mean, Salamander's the best. I'm just taking that one. Or why would I take anything else? Like, I'm hoping those days are gone. Genuinely hoping those days are gone. Anyway, it's enough waffling for me. That's 15 minutes of waffle from me. So tell me, beautiful people, what do you think? Big, colourful postcards for us. What do you think? Is Tyranids a positive sign? Is it a good book? Is it a bad book? Do you hate it? Do you love it? I didn't get tons of feedback from you on Saturday because I was literally reading the whole fucking book out. But let me know what you think. In the meantime, I wanted to stop for this. A massive shout out to Not John, to Toilet Dice, for gifting 50 of the finest memberships off the bat. You absolute fucking legend. I mean, it's not the 10 million that you gave to Pardo. I'm just throwing it out there. Toilet Dice. There could be more. I'm joking. Thank you so much, man. You're an absolute hero. I love you dearly. Thank you, Membership Vindicare, for gifting 1. And thank you so much, Zero Effect, a.k.a. Craig, for gifting 5 more. You bloody heroes. With Talk and Leaks gifting 1 at the start, that puts us... I need to do my little trackery thing. That puts us all the way up to this many of the finest memberships. Thank you, people. You're wonderful. Thank you so much, Alan, for the 5. I personally am loving the colour agnostic setup. I've been building this and I'm looking forward to playing multiple ways, regardless of colour. That's one of the things I love as well. If I feel like my specific version of Blood Angels, my specific version of Eldar, what I want to run in this way, I want to run heavy into Wraith constructs, even though I've got a Simhan voice, because my particular splinter of Simhan, blah, 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 Wraith construct, blah, 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 Infinity Circuit, blah, 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 narrative, right? If I want to do that, I want to be able to have the option to do that, rather than be like, okay, so I've now got, and I've had this circumstance in the past, to be honest with you, where it's like, cool, I've now got a Simhan army on the table, and it's Wraith Guards and this and that and blah, 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 right? I've got nothing that's biker. And my detachment ability allows biker units to fall back and charge, or whatever. I don't know. Things like that, right? I've had that in the past. So the detachment ability becomes essentially worthless for my army because it doesn't impact the things I've got. But what I'm trying to do, because one of the things I like to do in the hobby, and I think the majority of us are like that, is I want to play with the shit I like. I want to play with the things I like. I want to play with the models I like. I don't want to have to play with the models that are good. I hate... Do you know... One of the crying shames... This I genuinely mean this as well, right? One of the crying shames about competitive play in 40k, in my personal opinion, is you start to see a swathe of dog shit models on the table because they're good. Because Baharoth is good. So every fucking Eldar player in the world has got Baharoth on the table despite the fact his model's awful. And I hate that. I want to play with shit that I think looks cool. Models that I think are nice models. That's what I want to see. Okay? From me personally, that's what I want to see. And I think that with some of these detachment changes, that's actually more possible because it potentially could encourage you to take some of these choices that you might not have taken in the past. That's my personal thoughts on that one. Talk, thank you for the 5. You're a hero. It's good to be back. I'm on the mend. Mentally, I'm still a wanker though. You're our wanker though. Talk, you're our wanker. We love you dearly. Warmaster, thank you for the 2. I play narrative in GTs. So where will that leave me? I mean, I still, like I say, I think every single narrative detachment has some play at least. It might not be the strongest play in the whole of the Codex, Will. It might be that your Red Corsairs detachment, or what looks like a Red Course detachment in Chaos Space Marines, might not be the most competitive out of all of them, but it will have play. Equally, you're not locked to that particular rule because you've painted them Red Corsairs. You could pick something different. You could be like, oh, that doesn't, I don't really think that fits my Red Corsairs. But it's not called Red Corsairs. So I don't feel like you'll be guilted into using a specific detachment. And you might go, oh, I actually quite like that one. That fits me more. So I think you're going to be fine, mate. I genuinely think you're going to have more fun with it. But thanks for the 2 anyway. Zena, also, wow, missed you. How are you? I hope you're good. Thank you so much for the 10. I love you people. I am hot as balls right now, by the way, chat. It is so uncomfortable sat here right now. The things I do for you people, honestly, this is disgusting. I'm moist. The moment Thunderfire cannons were popular suddenly, yeah, exactly. I think they said that nothing in the Codex is going to directly change, but core rules will be changed so they impact the Codex. What are you talking about? We're talking about Escapade. Escapade. Bit of a buyer's remorse. I ordered the Codex plus cards, but I've come around to detachments not being linked to a paint scheme. Buyer's remorse, why? Why? I've dropped Chaos in 10th. I'm guard this time round. Well, that's also good. All I want is the ability to make any choice in the Codex and have a chance for it to be able to do the thing it should do. 100% able. That's where they should be aiming to be. It's hard to do. It's hard to do, but that's where they should be aiming to do. Elder should be ledgers like Chaos. Talk, how dare you? I said it was good for you to be back, maybe not anymore. Drop Dead Dave, thank you for the 10 gifted. You look at you smashing it out tonight. We can get the stream done early. Look. I'm joking. I'm here for an hour and a half, whether you like it or not. You don't get rid of me that easily, chat. Don't get rid of me that easily. Missed you guys too. You know, work is crazy. Is it? What do you? I don't know if I actually know what you. This is very rude of me, Zena, but I don't know if you actually know what you do. Hope work is crazy in a good way, not a bad way. That makes sense? That makes sense. Tomorrow GW said rules for NIDs won't get any changes, just index armies.
Chilling with tea and a donut. Haven't read the Codex yet. I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, we're happy you're here,
face.
Lara, as well. Thank you so much for the 10, you hero. The data slate tomorrow. So I would have been incredibly surprised if they'd have changed Tyranid rules with the data slate before the Codex comes out 2 days later. That would have been mental. Although I wouldn't be surprised to see them be fucking around with points and stuff because they will have Tyranid-based data. So here's the thing, right? They'll have Tyranid-based data off of events and tournaments and stuff like that from the launch of 10th edition to now. And a lot of the Tyranid stuff in the Codex is exactly the same as the data cards. So they'll be able to, I think, make informed kind of points tweaks, but it will only be based on the single detachment that they've had out. The invasion fleet or swarm, whatever it's called. So I feel like they'll probably see, will they see a points change? I don't know. I reckon there's going to be a lot of points changing going on. But yeah, I'd have been 100% surprised if they would have changed Tyranid rules tomorrow. That would have made no sense. Because what they do at that point is they invalidate a book that they've written literally 2 days before the general public gets their hands on it. And they normally do it 2 days after. So, you know, a whole 4 days early is what I'm saying. I fancy a cup of tea now. What are you doing? It's mad. It's mad hot. There's a little part of me, chat, that genuinely contemplated sitting here just topless because I was so fucking, honestly. I've always loved how customization, so I can build how I want to try, mostly because I love narratively building my own forces outside the set ones. I think a lot of... So this is the thing, right? I'm not going to go down this path. I'm not going to go down this particular tangent. I'm not going to go down this little moan here. But GW, I think, focus too much on the competitive player and forget sometimes about the narrative player. I personally believe that this Tyranid Codex is remembering the narrative player again. Genuinely. Honestly, I believe that. I don't think it's as good as it could be, but I think it's 100%, not just a step, but a giant leap in the right direction. And it's made me feel quite positive. I said last night, categorically, my hobby mojo at the moment is dead, and it kind of is. And the reason why it's dead, and here's the thing. The reason why my hobby mojo is dead right now isn't because 10th is bad necessarily, because I'm actually enjoying the playing piece. I'm enjoying hanging out with Joe and Chris and Brom and Eddie and Paddy and playing 40k. I'm enjoying all of that stuff. Genuinely enjoying all that stuff, right? 100%. And I'm actually having fun with 10th right now, personally. Since we changed it from competitive play to let's just garage hammer it and have a fucking laugh and play games like last night, I'm having so much fun in the hobby. So I'm happy in the hobby right now. Genuinely happy in the hobby right now. But I have no hobby mojo. There's nothing I want to build. This is where the indexing and then the trickle of codex is a negative, potentially even for Games Workshop as a business, because I'm kind of like, do I actually want to invest time and money into models right now that I don't know if are going to last when the codex comes out, because it might bring out a detachment ability where I'm like, really love that detachment, and that detachment impacts units that can fly, and this unit doesn't fly, so I have no interest in it anymore. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So I've got a bunch of hobby around me. At the moment, if I'm honest with you, chat, the one thing I would want to do is I would want to fucking build Tyranids, because at least their codex is out. And their new models are super cool. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know if anyone feels the same. Like, oh, I haven't got a codex. I don't really want to invest time and money on the off chance that it's... Last night was such a good game. It was an incredible game. 40k Medic, thank you so much for the 10 gifted. You guys are smashing through this target tonight. Oh, I love you. It makes it worth turning up. You lot make it worth turning up every time. Every time. I get worried, right? Because every other channel's copying me now with more streams. I mean, to be clear, I copied Titans and Valrak. But every other channel's copying me now with more streams, and I'm just worried you're all going to leave me. That was my puppy dog, guys. Does it work? Does it work? Drinking Johnny Black and playing on my new laptop my wife bought me. Good. I'm glad. Kit bash a Baharoth for yourself. No, I don't want to. I want a cool new Baharoth. I did a cool Janezar. I did a cool Malgan Ra. I want a cool new Baharoth. That's what I want. If you like the model, buy it and paint it anyways. That's kind of where I'm going to go with it, I reckon, Morty Hammer.
Evening all. We're getting Joe Mungan tomorrow.
You are getting Joe Mungan tomorrow, yes. Joe will be bringing... I can give you this, right? I love Joe for this. I love Joe for this, by the way, right? And don't worry, Joe, I'll get to yours and Ruri's super chats, you heroes. Tomorrow is more Tyranids. Not Vanguard detachment. It's going to be Crusher Stampede. And Joe has managed to get his list down to get this 11 models for Tyranids in Crusher Stampede at 2,000 points. He will be playing Chris, who's bringing Astra Militarum, but it's not the Valhallans, it's Paddy's painted army. I say Paddy's painted army, it's Chris's army. He commissioned Paddy to paint, and it's beautiful. So it's Tyranids Guard. It's Tyranids Guard. It's old-fashioned, kind of almost. What's that film that you all tell me off for not knowing? Watch the triggers. Watch the triggers. Yeah. Actually, forgotten what the name is now. But it's like that film all over again. But it's Chris versus Joe. I'll be on the deck one more time. Because Chris was down, and I was like, "Do you want to play, or do you want to produce?" And he wants to play with his guard toys. And we get to show off Paddy's commission work. And I think he's opening it up sometime soon as well. All right, so you are going to get more Joe to go tomorrow.
The Discord weekend workshop spurred me to back into the painting mojo. Seeing others doing the same is a wonderful thing.
Do you know what, Remy? The Discord's incredible because we're encouraging people to hobby over the week of Starship Troopers, is it? Look at you lot. I knew you'd fucking get triggered. We use the weekend workshop to encourage people to hobby over the weekend and set goals and set targets and try and just like kind of do certain stuff. Set like chunks that they want to get done and get that done, which is amazing. We have the Fit for 40k channel. We're now that's getting quite busy. People are being encouraged to go in and do some exercise and do some workouts. I weighed myself this morning, chat, and I nearly fucking cried. So we've got that going on as well, which is incredible. The Discord's incredible for encouraging people. It's really, really good. It's really, really good. Jill, thank you so much for the 5. Smells like a Death Company Hammerfall bunker army. That sounds fucking incredible. Love it. Do it. More Hammerfall bunkers. All the Hammerfall bunkers. Riri, thank you for the 5. I haven't read the NIDS Codex, but I'm keen for the update tomorrow. I'm sick of my world eaters getting bent over by space wolves. I'll be interested to see how they apply changes tomorrow. Are they going to go hard at the top and leave the rest? Are they going to go hard at the top, hard at the bottom? Are they going to go hard at the bottom, leave the top? What are they going to do? I have no idea. No, that's not Starship Troopers. Bugs versus humans is Starship Troopers, Mandy. I know that much at least. I'm aware that Starship Troopers has lots of little bugs and not so many big bugs. So tomorrow's not quite accurate because we're running Crusher Stampede. But Bugs versus humans is Starship Troopers. Don't take that from me. I know that's right. Don't lie to me. Other channels can copy your schedule and hit the same points, but can only imitate the attitude and positivity despite not having the mo. Aw, Kaz. I hear a lot of you say I'm stuck with you. We're not going anywhere. It's not stuck. You lot are a pleasure to hang around with on stream. All of you. I cry every time I weigh myself. Removes water weight. Do not use weight as a benchmark. Do you see mine? I only lost 20 weight. Yeah, no. So, Mandy, to a point you're not wrong, but when I'm the heaviest I've ever weighed, that's still a problem, right? It is a problem. So, I don't completely disagree with you, but it is a problem.
I found myself with Hobby Block. Since 10th, I've decided I want to build a Space Vikings army with all axes and shields. I just can't get myself at the desk building and painting at the moment.
Okay. So firstly, Alex, thank you so much for the 10. You're a hero. I love you, even if you didn't invite me to your ride out to the castle. Just throwing it out there. Just saying. However, I don't know how we necessarily solve that. Again, the weekend workshop stuff in Discord is great, but I know you work a lot of weekends as well, which makes it a bit more difficult, I guess. But Gaz, who you know, puts in there about smart targets and how to set little like mini goals and stuff so that your targets are achievable. Sometimes you just need to flick the little rock off the edge and it will start to roll and it starts to snowball and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and you end up, oh, hey, I'm into it now. Maybe, I don't know, go and find some 3D printed Viking shields or something that might give you some what's the word I'm looking for? Inspiration. I don't know. I'm not sure how. Like, I'm stuck on a hobby block right now as well, Alex. So I don't really know how to solve it. The way I've done this typically in the past, I've gone into GW or something. I've just gone that model. I like that model, and I've bought it, and I've started to paint it, and then I've felt good, and then I typically don't finish it. But what that does do is it gives me the kind of get up and go to start the project that I wanted to start, which is really cool. Trout, thank you for the tea. Our birthday is fast approaching. Any plans? What birthday? Trout, what birthday? Mine and your birthday. Our relationship. Is that it? It's too hot for painting? I mean, it is too hot for painting. 100% it's too hot for painting. Yeah, but is your weight muscle? You do lots of lifting, so you'll gain weight. No. Mandy, look, honestly, right. When you look down and you can only just see the tip of your penis, it means your belly's in the way, right? And that's a problem. If you look down and you can't see it at all, it's also a problem. And you can't say that's muscle. So there's a belly that needs to go. Right? That needs to go away. It's the thing. It just needs to go. I'm working on it. I've been to the gym 3 times in 10 days. I'm very excited. The batteries died in my weight scale yesterday. I'm just not going to replace them till the wife finds out. While I'm on a diet, we'll see how much change happens when she notices. That's amazing. I have built and painted 2,000 points of Votan so far for a new 10th edition project. Such a nice range of models. They are, actually. They're nice. Joe says they're really nice to paint as well. I can't say for definite because I haven't. We love hearing your voice. Lucy's chirps. Bombardment Paddy is fun. Brom exists, I guess. Love your work. Keep it up. Thank you. Thank you. Lucy's currently got the boys, honestly, got the boys upsides down. upside down, upstairs, not upside down. I was about to say she's got the boys upside down in the bath. That would be cruelty. That would be dangerous. You shouldn't do that. She's got them upstairs in a cool bath because it's been so hot today. It's been disgusting. So, you know, we're sticking them in a cool bath, pajamas, etc. So, or you have a small penis. I mean, that's also true. When you have both, though, Riri, it's a problem, right? You can see the tip, bollocks. No, I can't see the tip of my bollocks, Dave. They're underneath. How does muscle weigh more than fat? Surely 1 kilogram of muscle weighs the same as 1 kilogram of fat. Oh, shared birthday. It's approaching way faster than I want. It is, actually. Oh, yes, you're a Christmas Eve baby too, aren't you? Aww. Aww. A keg is superior to a six-pack. It's not. I can still see my feet, so I'm happy. Is that if you lean forward? It's stomach muscle. Digestion, all them takeaways takes energy. It does. What has helped me with my hobby block is going to my pile of opportunity to get rid of some boxes only to discover that I had...
Love you, Liam, and your wisdom. I'll plan a ride in your direction soon.
I'm joking, Alex. I'm joking. You don't need to bring... it's a long old way to bring them bikes over here, to be fair. In all seriousness, we'd be better off meeting halfway. Because riding a 125 from Warminster to Southampton is a long old way. You have to stop for fuel 4 times. Take the painting in chunks. 3 small sessions in the garage today, and I got 10 Eurogons painted, 2 barb gaunts, and something else. I can't remember right now. How do people paint so fast, Sven? How do people like you and Joe paint so fast? Joe started the fucking Hormigans like 2 days ago. And then I was like, so we think we spoke on Friday. I think we spoke on Friday. So remembering, chat, right? Joe went on holiday last Monday, and he was on holiday until Thursday, okay? And when he was on holiday, he was camping, and he hadn't, at this point, built the Hormigans, okay? He hadn't built them. He hadn't done that. He got back on Thursday. I'm pretty sure he had the rest of Thursday afternoon to recover from the holiday because he was camping, and camping is awful. And then he turned up yesterday, so I was like, okay, cool. So we're not going to see Hormigans for the new game, and we're probably not going to see the new Gene Stealers, because what I said to Joe was focus on the kind of more interesting stuff that we haven't seen yet. So focus on the Norn Emissary, the Neurolictor, the Death Leaper, the Lictor, the things, like I say, the things we haven't seen yet. And he, I mean, to be fair, he did. And then he rocked up yesterday with the 10 Hormigans built and painted, and the 10 Gene Stealers built and painted, and all the other stuff built and painted. We actually showcased yesterday. I don't know if any other channel's done this yet. I'm not sure. We actually showcased yesterday every single new model they sent to us, built and painted, right? And what you don't know, chat, is he also rocked up with 6 more Thunderkin for the Leagues of Jotan, built and painted. How does anyone paint that fast? It's fucking mad. It's unbelievable. Seriously, my husband bought a Storm Speeder Sunday. It's like 90% done with all the weapons magnetized, and he took a day off to raid in World of Warcraft. Mandy, how? What hotel was Joe camping at? He wasn't. He was in a field. I got some funny pictures talk. He was in a field, and he looked fucking miserable. Absolutely miserable. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen him look so grumpy. Filing away bits into boxes only to find that I have half a Storm Raven still on the sprue. I don't care that they aren't great at the moment. That box is taking up too much room. Amazing. Amazing. I have a Crusade question if you can answer it. Is the new NIDS content just an army mechanic for Crusade, or do they have unit upgrade tables and relics still? So I can't tell you for definite right now, Gareth, because Joe's got the Codex at his house because he's playing Crusher Stampede tomorrow. And you know, I guess it makes sense for him to have the book at the moment if he's learning the new army, and maybe, you know, possibly being able to give you the right kind of rules and content. I remember there being more than just an army ability for Crusade. There being certain upgrades. If I remember, I think it's less complicated than before, which is good. And it actually probably encourages me to do more Crusade, or do some Crusade content in the future, at least on the channel potentially. But we also want to do Combat Patrol content, and we also want to do Heresy content, and we also want to do AOS content, and we just want to do all the things. I need more staff is what I need. So the next, I say hobby goals. You guys got hobby goals, I've got channel goals, right? So we're in the process of trying to sort this studio out, and I'm dreading the setup costs for the studio, but we got to get it done. So we're in the process of sorting the studio out. once the studio's done and I have a professional workspace, I feel like the next step, if the channel would continue to grow, would be to then look at additional staff so we can increase our content and our output. We have an intent to increase the output anyway, so that's something that's going to happen, hopefully. But it will be whatever Joe and I can add into the week, to be honest with you. So there's that, but we will be looking at bringing more systems in the future, and the way I'm going to do that potentially is... No, Kill Team's like... Vex, we're almost planning every single fucking 40k system, to be honest with you. Are you taking CVs? I might be in the future, Alan. I might be in the future. People like Paddy and Brom, I can't afford their wages, so... Never say never, sir. Never say never. I'm currently building some Met guns, kit bash from truck drivers and Imperial Guard ordnance batteries. That sounds fucking cool. Talk me out of the Cities of Sigmar box. I potentially picked it up in an hour and a half. I went into GW on Tuesday, Trout, with a friend of mine, and I rode over there because it was a nice day, so I took the bike over there. My bike doesn't have big pannier bags, or I didn't wear a backpack. I do it on purpose because it means I can go in the GW and I can talk to the staff and have a nice conversation. I don't have any space to carry anything home in. And as I was there, they were unloading their order that had just turned up, and the box that my friend Sam was specifically opening was full of 5 boxes of the Cities of Sigmar box. It's the first time I've actually had it in hand and looked at the back close up, and I was like, when the box was announced, when the models came out for Cities, I looked at it, I was like, I'm not that bothered. Everyone was like, oh, they're amazing. I was like, I'm not that bothered by them. I'm not that bothered. I'm not that bothered at all. Now I've seen the box in person, I'm like, okay. I think that this is probably a very good box. And if I had A, the money, and B, the transport space, I probably would have bought one for me and one for Joe. Rory, I'll work for 3. I mean, at the moment you're paying me, Rory, so, you know. Work for free and shit, hot in the sack, says Laser Cut Architect. I mean, I can't guarantee the first one there, chat, but the second one, yeah. I would do it, but I don't think I would survive in England. Why not, Fraser? Where are you from? Why wouldn't you survive in England? I've been begging for Kill Team for years, says Vex. I know, but I'm sorry. If you notice, we've actually added nothing apart from just 40k content. We did do the boarding patrols when that came out, I guess, but there's I'm going to be straight up with you people. I've always been straight up with you people. Whilst we're in this studio, bringing in extra content that requires additional sets of terrain and better camera angles is just out of the question. I've tried to set up for Kill Team. I've tried to set up for other things. We don't have any space. Anybody who's ever come to the studio, and there's not very many people, but anybody who's ever come to the studio and had a look around has gone, oh my God, it's smaller than it looks on camera. Like, yeah, it's fucking cramped in here. We get 3 people in it and it is cozy. It is cozy. 4 people, it's uncomfortable. 5 people is impossible. So the good news being we've solved this problem, right? And when I say we've solved this problem, what I mean by that is we have the studio. It's confirmed. I'm just waiting to get the details sorted so that we can finally get in there. And we're probably talking, like I said last night, probably talking a 2 to 3 month timeline minimum. But when we're in there, we have the space and we have the space to store additional sets of terrains. We can put AOS terrain in there. We can put Heresy terrain in there. We can put Kill Team style multi-level terrain in there. We can put miniature building city, Titanicus, Battletech type terrain in there. We can put World War II terrain in there. Then we start off, like, terrain is... I don't want to put content out that looks shit. And I also don't want to put content out where every single terrain map looks exactly the same because they've only got one set of terrain. I don't like that. I'd like it to be quite... immersive and people to find it very interesting and very enjoyable. So to do that, we need space for minimum 3 sets of terrain per gaming system, so I can mix it up, you know. So I think I don't want to say we're bringing Kill Team and we're bringing Titanicus and we're bringing Warcry and we're bringing all I don't want to say we're definitely doing that, but I would like to add it all. I'd like to add all those things to the channel in the future. And as you know, I've said this before, I'll say it a million times, I'm open and honest about this as well. I'm never going to be in a position where I'm like, if you donate more money, we're going to be doing all these gaming systems, because that's not the case. We want to add them anyway, so we're going to add them. The one thing I will say though is we have to make business-based decisions. So if we ran Titanicus for 12 months and it was awful and it wasn't doing anything and it was hurting the algorithm and the content wasn't doing badly, that's what we'd be like. And I'd be honest with you, people would be like, hey, look, we tried it. It's not really working for us. So we wouldn't, we probably wouldn't keep it going. Manny says you have all the terrain you need for kill team. Really, it's just a camera angle. 100% it's a camera angle, and we have the models too. And I don't know if you guys remember from a long time ago, I have a robotic arm thing that was partly for kill team. I reckon we can have it swinging in around some of the ruins and stuff when we have the space to have that arm set up, and I can get the arm to do more than just go up and down, right? Rugby World Cup chat. How do you rate England's chances here? Did they just get thrashed by Ireland? I can't see. I don't think. I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable. I have some of the rare Wall of Martyrs trench lines. I would happily donate them to the channel after I've used them in a good few games. Fraser, thank you, man. You're a hero. I beat Necrons with my Ultramarines. Thought it was an amazing game. Felt like I was playing an undying horde. It was amazing. That's good. I'm glad. You have. I've already read that one as well. I played Necrons. There's no need for a nerf. You don't get tabled fighting them. They can't auto-score secondaries, and they aren't amazing. Any shooting or melee. No, they just don't die. That's the only thing that makes them annoying. And I say annoying, but I mean kind of narrative as well, right? Fiji. Oh my god. Lise, it's disgusting in here. It's alright. She's not coming in, chat. She's not coming in. Oh my god. This is horrible. I shouldn't complain. I like the hot weather, but not want to have to sit in front of a filming light under a studio light is not the nicest thing in the world ever. Anyway, back on topic, chat. Come on. We don't want to talk about this. Back on our topic. How does narrative feel in the new edition? I mean, that's kind of back on topic, exactly like I was talking about, right? So this is where I was going with it. I think 267 people in chat right now. Okay, only 135 likes, lazy. But anyway, 267 people in chat right now. How many of you are competitive people? And how many, if you had to pick a side, competitive narrative, tell me in chat right now which one you are. All right, get naked already then. No, super hype for Terra. I hope my Tau get just a bit better. More hoping for nerfs for the big armies than anything else. Oh, for tomorrow, Leyland. Tau do need some help, actually, to be honest with you. I can't use a fan because it annoys the microphones. The army is good, but certainly has weaknesses around mobility and secondary score. Maybe some points adjustments to Lich Guard. Haven't had a chance to bring them to the table. Yeah, Lich Guard are a bit too cheap, to be fair. So Alex is competitive. Narrative. Cool. We've got 1 for each. Narrative. 2 for narrative. I'm suspecting, Alex, by the way, you'll probably be more narrative than competitive. Competitive says Frank. Narrative, competitive, narrative. Narrative. Okay, cool. Right, good. So there's a reason why I've asked the question, right? 1, it gets chat moving, which is great for the algorithm. Whee! But 2, Mr. Sven, see, there it goes. Mr. Sven gifted 1. Look at that, just for the attention. Thank you, Sven, for the gifted membership. You're a hero. 89 of the finest. 11 to go for target. 11. Morty Hammer with a 1. Up to 90. See, chat got moving. It works. It's a thing. Very casual, competitive. Sounds like a poll question. Narrative, competitive. I don't think. We could poll it, but I feel like it's not really a fair poll because my audience, I think, is normally more. Let's do it. Let's put a poll up anyway, chat. You've asked for a poll. Let's put a poll up. Start a poll. I prefer. ... Yes, no. Competitive. Oh, spelling. Nah. Right. This is harder with my non-wireless wireless keyboard. There you go, cool. We polled it. You asked for a poll, chat, you got a poll. Now there's a reason why I've asked this question. Okay. Now I think that why's my chat just gone whilst the poll's loading? I broke it, chat. Talk, thank you for the gifted. I can see that at least. It comes up the top. I have to refresh the screen, aren't I? Because I've just broke chat. Let's pop out chat. And then let's close it back down. Well, this is odd. It won't do the poll. Has the poll popped up? No, it hasn't, has it? Thank you so much, 40k Medic, for the gifted 10 as well. You beautiful people. Right, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to F5. The whole screen froze for me for a minute. Come on, catch up. The poll didn't launch. Poll didn't launch, chat. And I don't have I can't see myself now either. YouTube's being funny. YouTube won't let me launch a poll. I've tried twice. You don't get a poll after all, apparently. Tech issues. What's this a VT stream? No, because we're still going. This is a YouTube problem. It's not a me problem. Okay, this is all working normally now. So thank you so much, 40k Medic, for the 10, by the way. Thank you, Talk. You put us over the target. We're on 101 of the finest. Thank you so much. Right, but anyway, the reason wasn't to see... If I'm honest with you people, the poll's kind of irrelevant, right? I'll explain. It was more just a ploy to get chat moving. I'll explain what I mean, right? So... The point I'm trying to get across is I actually kind of think this codex caters to both. That's the point I'm trying to get across to you people. I actually think this codex caters to both. If you're a narrative Tyranid player and you want to play a swarm of little bugs, you have a detachment for it. If you want to play a swarm of giant monsters, you have a detachment for it. If you want to play a swarm of super fast sneaky fuckers, you've got a detachment for it. And if you want to play a bit of everything, the detachment's for that too. Okay? So in that regard, it's great for narrative players. For the more competitive minded of you, are the detachments in that codex that potentially can hold their own competitively? Yeah, there is. Like I haven't done a lot of praising GW since 10th edition has launched, but I actually think this is a good job. And I actually think that on the whole, this is a positive sign for 10th edition. Really positive. If they can continue in every codex to give you narrative detachments, to give narrative players lots of options, but also give competitive players a couple of detachments that can hold their own in competitive play, that is a good job. And they should be praised for that. Yes, we can all argue about how they shouldn't perhaps do the cards and the codex and then invalidate blah blah blah. Like I've got thoughts on all that kind of stuff, right? I've got thoughts on their pricing model. I've got thoughts on all those kinds of things. But in terms of supporting competitive and narrative players, I actually feel like this 10th codex is really good, right? Genuinely, really, really, really think we need to be like we can't let this kind of positive thing be overshadowed by some of the other stuff going on necessarily, because I think what we need to do is we need to get this message back to them like this was good. Like, if you keep doing this with Necrons and with Eldar and with Drakari and with Orcs, this is good. This is really, really good. So like with Eldar, I would like the option to have a Wind Rider kind of army, which would typically be Simhan, and a Ghost kind of army, which would typically be Eandon, and an Aspect Warrior kind of one, which would typically be Bealtan. Obviously, because it's not going to be linked to a colour scheme, I get options to use all of them as a narrative player, and then I also want one which is everything working together. I want what they've done with Tyranids for Eldar. You know, there's some armies where that's going to be a bit hard. I will add that there is armies where that's going to be a bit more difficult. For example, World Eaters. You know, I don't understand quite at the moment how they're going to get 6 detachments out of World Eaters, if I'm honest with you. Like, that feels like that would be a struggle right now. I'm conscious they've said that every new codex is getting new units, or models at least. I feel like World Eaters is going to be hard to do 6 different detachments, all with unique flavour, because World Eaters is very one-dimensional on the whole. And I guess that you probably could apply that to a couple of other factions, maybe. But I feel like Orcs, you can do Speed Freaks, and you can do Mechs, and you can do Killer Cans, you can do those kind of different detachments, like a Mech detachment. And I feel like, you know, Drakari, you can do Cabal, and you can do Homunculus, and you can do all that kind of stuff, as well as doing like Court of the Archon. There's just loads of things you can do with loads of codexes. There's a couple that I think they might struggle with, but as a community, we are incredibly quick to criticize what they do as a company, and to some extent, that's just how it should be. But when they do something well, and I think this codex where they've done something well.
You forget they don't need to do anything to Eldar, as they are really well designed, says Stu Black.
I have opinions on that man, Kai, as you well know. There's a reason why I will never be invited to do an interview with him. fucking moron. How do we feel about... Warner says, how do we feel about Nid's strength? If you compare Nids to current, at least, and I'm conscious that tomorrow hasn't happened yet. If you compare Nids currently to Eldar, Knights, Genestealer Cults, what else? Custodes, maybe Necrons even, potentially. Those kinds of factions, at the moment, Nids won't stack up to those. If you compare Nids to, for example, World Eaters and Votan, I think personally at the moment Nids very easily stand up to those. My gut instinct tells me that the Nid book in the current existence of 10th edition, again, this might change tomorrow, the current existence of 10th edition, my gut tells me that Nids was going to sit somewhere in the middle. Maybe slightly higher in the middle just because they've got more options now than other books. That's a good place for them to be. I don't think anyone at the moment can look at any Nid build and be like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is ridiculous. I don't think anyone can be there, as in like broken good. And I don't think anyone can really say the whole book is toilet. People have opinions on certain units not being very good, and certain people have certain opinions on certain detachments not being very good. So, for example, if we talk about the Endless Multitude detachment, I don't think it's the best. I love the fact that it's got a narrative kind of feel to it, and people that want to run swarms of little bugs will have a detachment they can use. I actually don't think the detachment rule itself is very, very good. It's kind of rescued by stratagems mostly. So it's still got play, but it's just not the greatest in terms of detachment. So I don't feel like they're going to be a book that absolutely trashes everybody else. But I also don't feel like there's going to be in a situation where they're getting walked over by everybody else either. They look like they'll be a good middling book right now. I finished just arrived to work. We'll definitely finish later. Bye all. Thanks, Nancy, for hanging out anyway. Just Jupiter. I hope the Dread Mob army is fun. I want to run my cans dreads. That sounds amazing. Mastercraft Alex, with World Eaters, they could do a more demon heavy list like they did for... Yeah, I mean, I like that. That's a cool option. Is the exception that the codexes are going to release over 3 years? So does that mean some codexes will have one detachment for a long time? I hope. CJB, I hope not. Look at those 3 people anyway. And Merkel. Someone called the sponsorship police. Lima's being spicy. I'm always spicy. Look at all these people, though. Look at all these people that have not got green names, chat. Where's Reg? Where's the sniper? Mikey Hellstrom just made one today. About what? You got me crying with laughter in the aisles. I'm sorry, Kyle. I don't mean to make you look a lunatic in the supermarket. But Kai, I'm going to do something strange here that I haven't done before, right? And I'm going to defend him ever so slightly. And I don't like defending him because he says moronic shit on camera. But I'm going to defend him ever so slightly. And that is that he will have red tape around what he is and isn't allowed to say. It's not a strong defense of Mr. the Stu Black. It's not a strong defense at all, right? But it is a defense nonetheless. He will be restricted slightly in what he's going to have to say. Or what he's allowed to say. It doesn't forgive coming onto a video and saying moronic things like Eldar are okay, because they're not. They're not okay. They're not okay. Oh, Mikey's done a broken Tyranid list. I don't follow clickbait shit. He'll message me now. Thank you so much, Trout and Eston, for the gifteds. You fucking beautiful human beings. Thank you so much, you legends, for supporting the channel. You incredible people. Breaking the Nid Codex. Oh, he's onto that, is he? Prediction, 10th edition prediction. Every single time new rules or new codex is going to come out, Mikey might do a I've broken it video. How are Space Force coming on, Liam? Did you ever get them painted? I know you're waiting on Siege. No, so Siege are working on Templars instead because of Mr. the Eston Jones. Wolves, Joe and I have a list of stuff that we want to get done for the channel. Wolves are in that list. So I basically gave Joe a budget and he went nuts on things like the Forge World website, buying Space Wolf upgrade bits and all kinds of stuff. So we've got quite a lot of Space Wolf bits ready to go now. And he very much wants to do the army. The problem we have is, and this is a very nice problem to have, this is not a complaint, right? This is not a complaint at all. But the problem we have is we have a kind of like a list, a schedule, an order of things that we want to do and add. So we have, for example, expansions for certain armies, so we can try and give you more variety. And we have complete fresh armies, so we can give you more variety, ultimately, right? So it's a couple of things there that we have it on our list, and we organise them in such a way. So we might do like 2 bunches of expansions. So at the moment, if you've noticed, the Votan are getting a bit of an expansion. I mean, it is a little bit convenient that you start playing Votan. The Votan are getting a bit of an expansion right now, despite the fact they've got no new models, right? Which is cool. So yeah, so you've got that, and then what happens is, and this is where the nice problem kicks in. What happens is, this is where GW then send us stuff like a Norn Emissary and a Lictor and a Neurolictor and a Death Leaper and 10 Hormagaunts and 10 Gene Stealers and a Biovore, and then everything that's on the list, because there's an NDA date coming up, gets dropped, and then that goes in there, boom. And so we can assume that at some point in the future they may send us the new Space Marine models, and guess what? Everything in the list, boom, will get dropped. So what will happen now, once the Tyranids are done, what will happen now is he'll start working on some more bits that are on the current list until we get closer and closer to Space Wolves. And then GW might send us some more stuff, and boom, it all drops again, and it goes on pause whilst we get the new stuff out. Because unfortunately, we cannot deny the fact that new stuff on the channel just performs better. And ultimately, this is fun and I enjoy it and I love it, but we're also trying to run a business. I'm trying to get to a point where I can bring in more staff. I'm trying to get to a point where we can add more content. For that, you need viewers, and then you need to convert viewers to subscribers, and then you need to convert subscribers into monetized people somehow. Whether that's a simple view for ad revenue, a super chat like
Did
Alan.
you get the leather mask heads for the wolves? They look awesome and fit the Vialka Fenrika theme.
I don't know, Alan. I don't know. He went mad. He spent a lot. So we've got a bunch of stuff. I've got some super cool Viking printed 3D shields for things like Blade Guard that look amazing. So yeah, so then we need to turn those subscribers into, those viewers into subscribers, and then those subscribers into kind of monetized viewers. And that's either through memberships, gifted memberships, super chats, or even just watching for ad revenue, although ad revenue isn't very much, right? So when it comes to things like the Space Wolves, 100% keen to get to Space Wolves, but when new shit comes out, we just kind of have to just like chuck it in. What chapter do the new Marines go into? Couldn't they be painted, converted into wolves? The thing, so yes, CJ, they absolutely could be converted into wolves, but then to get them on the table on NDA date, whenever that might be, GW don't give us a lot of time, right? I think some people think that we get like fucking, I don't know, 2 months with the new stuff. We don't get a lot of time. Joe had maybe 3 weeks, and that's including his week holiday in there as well. Maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I can't remember, right? Don't blame GW. I don't think they should send them out earlier. They absolutely probably shouldn't. If you think about what's going on with leaks and stuff, they shouldn't send them out earlier, actually, quite frankly. So I'm not getting narky because I don't send them to us sooner, but we don't get a ton of time. So if we decided to put the new Marine stuff into, if we were to get it, we have no idea yet if we are going to get it, right? But if we were going to put it into Space Wolves, we'd have to right now be starting the Space Wolf army on the off chance they could come in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Then Joe's got to paint 2,000 points of Space Wolves, including the new stuff. We could do instead, we could go, oh, Assault Intercessors with jump packs, put with the Flash Terrors, and then they've already got an army good to go. And then I always said that takes a little bit of pressure off of Joe as well, where I can say to Joe, paint what you can and do, like, we'll go, so Tyranids come out, okay, I want you to focus on the Norn Emissary first, I want you to focus on Death Leaper second, and then I want you to focus on the Biovore, and then the Lictor, and then the Neurolictor, and then the Hormagaunts, and then the Gene Stealers, because we've already got 30 Gene Stealers, right? So that's what we think we should do, because this is the one that's going to bring in people that watch and stuff like that. And so with Space Marines, for example, we can go, okay, paint the Assault Intercessors first, because that's the shit people are excited about, potentially. I don't know. I'm just saying, for example. And then do this, and then do this, and then do this, and then do this. And then if he gets the first third of it done, we've kind of got the units that we think are the most important. And if he doesn't get the rest, fine. I mean, Joe's incredible. He normally gets almost all of it done every time, which I can't fault him for it. Like Space Wolves coming. Don't start that, Dave. Yeah, possibly. 3 weeks. I expected 1 weekish because of that only unboxing videos that come out on Fat Fox, right? Here's the other thing that Joe and I take very, very seriously. I don't like the idea of being sent a bunch of stuff that we just go, oh, thanks for sending me that. This is the box. That's not content. That's I've got a free model. What we did last night, 3 days after the pre-order went up, is we showcased all the new models. You know, I think people should do that. I will say categorically, I couldn't do it without Joe. Joe's fucking incredible. Son of Olympia, thank you so much for the gifted, by the way. Up to 104. We sniped a person. Still have many of the grey names in chat. Alan, by the way, thank you for the 10. I don't know if I did thank you for that, but you're a hero. Reg, thanks for the 5. At a tournament at the weekend, I was voted most sporting. Competitive may not be for everyone, but I got 5 great games in and met up with people from all over. That's why I love tournaments, though, Reg, to be fair. That's the best part of it. Pain the new ones, wolves, and run in flesh terrors until... No, I won't do hodgepodge. I won't mix match. I don't like doing that either. I don't like, hey, the best build for this army is this, this, and this. We've got it, but painted in 3 different chapters. Put it all together. I don't like that, personally. My pile of shame has grown. A national treasure has a use. He's got lots of uses. He's got lots of uses, honestly. The solution is obvious. Don't give Joe annual leave. Unfortunately, we kind of have to legally. A legal requirement. Amazing. Town needs to not have hazardous on their psychic irons, to just be restricted to 1 or 2. I agree, he's probably restricted in his livelihood, so it doesn't do me any favours as a punter though, but I take your point. What are you talking about? What, Kai? Was that to me? Have I missed something there? He's the author of all that smug, self-satisfied shit they put out when they announce price hikes or legends in, or at least approving it. Who's this? Oh, interesting. Just go have a look in there. Tim Chaser, fuck me, gifting 20 of the finest, sniping all them grey names. Jarl Grimnar, have you got gifteds turned on? Why haven't you got one? It was great to see a game, Guard versus Bugs, where Guard need to get their HQ across the board and his goal is to kill him. Stuff like that's cool. We are kind of brainstorming, spitballing ideas about more narrative kind of content. Oh, okay, I'm clearer now about the person you were talking about. Okay. We were kind of brainstorming more about the content and how to do it, because at the moment you'll notice that we're just kind of doing more and more Leviathan games, because we'd like to bring more narrative stuff in, because narrative is the shit we all enjoy. It's you know, engaging. You can make scenarios up. It's kind of like, it kind of goes back to It's kind of. I was talking about this the other day. I don't necessarily want to go back to 7th or 5th or whatever, or 2nd edition even, but do you think, chat, to a point that people have lost their creativeness when it comes to playing 40k? Because people used to make up games. People used to make up narrative. People used to just play Eternal War missions, which were like capture the relic or whatever, but they would make up extra stuff. They would, oh, what about if my 3,000 points of Tyranid bugs, little bugs, can take on your Terminate? Like, that kind of stuff. Right? Imagine that. Where's that gone? That stuff has gone, and that annoys me. Because, I say annoys me, that's something that I feel like where some of 40k's soul has kind of disappeared. So we're looking to bring this back in the future. And it won't necessarily be hyper in-depth narrative with a million special rules and all that kind of stuff. But that's the kind of shit we want to bring back. A narrative scenario where the goal here isn't to stand in the corner of the board and do loads of actions and then stand on each objective and do more actions and then go into the middle of the board and do an act. Like, that's not the fucking goal. That's not 40k. That's not narrative. That's not the game. That's not... How many times... Okay. How many times in a Black Library novel has a unit gone to the corner of the battlefield and stood there? It's fucking awful. That's not fun. That's competitive build, right? That's competitive build. And this is where I talk about, on the whole, I think GW's focus has been too much on the competitive scene. Again, the Codex, good job. Good job. But that's where I think they've gone too much down the competitive path. Hey, great name, but I did used to do your music till I got over by your... Yeah, so welcome to the club. Cole, how are you doing, man? I hope you're okay. Long time no speak. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. I hope Scotland is just as sunny as down here right now. Most stuff in 40k is guaranteed and not a dice game. You win by min-maxing Codex, bring back second. Mate, Minx, this is what I'm saying. But if you get rid of that, hey, I know that if I can achieve most of the secondaries, I can max my secondary points, right? And I go down the route of, we've got a swarm of 60 Hormigants and Gene Stealers that are rushing a defended first company position, like that kind of stuff. That's the kind of shit I want. The Eldar are swooping in to secure an artifact they want to put back in the Black Library. That's the kind of shit I want to do. The lack of creativity in all games, such as 40k Magic the Gathering, has gone to the wayside. Too many people getting competitive lists of the internet. 100% Medic. 100% 40k Medic. Exactly. So Joe and I are going to have a session sometime in the very near future. Probably within the next couple of weeks. But we're actually I've got a whiteboard that I've cleared off. We're going to sit down. We're going to brainstorm a plan for narrative games. And I'm thinking, and I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm thinking about doing this. On a week where it is not a new Codex week, so this week is a new Codex week, right? Because Tyranids were announced on Saturday. We can play Tuesday and Thursday with Tyranids, so we'll be doing 2 Leviathan games. Because again, back to the business model, right? That's what brings the numbers in. 100%. You just look at the stream from last night, right? That's what brings the numbers in, okay? When it's not a release week, what we're thinking about doing, or what I'm thinking about doing, is making Tuesdays non-Leviathan Tuesdays. There'll be a catchier name. But I'm thinking about Tuesdays, non-Leviathan Tuesdays. So every Tuesday that's not a release week, we'll do something a little bit different. We'll play proper Garage Hammer. What I think personally is proper 40k. Okay? Now, I don't hate competitive play, and I don't hate competitive players, and we will continue to play Leviathan as well. 100%. 100% we will. But I would like to balance it out with what I personally believe is proper 40k. If tomorrow's chat plays, no, tomorrow's not chat plays, JK. Tomorrow was going to be chat plays, but then they decided to drop the balance data slate tomorrow as well. So tomorrow, again, we go back to the we go back to the business model thing. We talk about this a lot, I know, but I like to be very open with you people. Tomorrow's balanced data slate day. New Codex Tyranid plus balanced data slate equals more viewers. It just does. If we do, hey, it's new Codex Tyranids and it's balanced data slate, but you can fucking throw everything you think you know about the game out the window because it's chat plays and you lot are mad, then we don't do a proper chat plays. We don't get the numbers. We don't actually showcase the things that are out tomorrow. So we're not stopping it because we've cancelled too many chat plays. We are postponing it 1 week. We're just postponing it 1 week, okay? So next week will be chat plays. So don't you worry. Would you do a narrative series like 5 or 6 themed games? Yes, Alan, 100% we would. 100% mate. It should be Wednesday, then you could call it Wildcard Wednesday. But this is Wednesday. Narrative doesn't always mean you need to write a story. It could just be making up your own victory. 100% This is what I'm saying. That's old school 40k. I don't need an in-depth story about the planet that we're on and why this is happening. I don't need to know exact details about the captain's name and what his mother does for a living. We just need win conditions that are different to Leviathan. That's it. Is that money not good enough for you? Your money's amazing, Rory. That's why we're doing it next week. And if we do come up with a bunch of cool win conditions that we can link with a loose piece of narrative, then we'll do it. 100% we will. Right? 100%. P Turbo. With my group of friends, I'm the only one who makes lists that are thematic. For the fluff, the rest are quite competitive. In 9th, I was 318. In 10th, 2-0 so far with my CSM. Did you have fun, though? Does it equal more super chats, though? Well, no, I know, but... I also... The reason why I'm not Kickstarter in the studio, Yestin, is because I'm also... I ask enough of you people already. quite frankly, with the super chats and the memberships and the gifted memberships, I already ask enough of you people. Plenty. Far too much. Okay.
I run campaigns for my buddies and brother-in-law. We mix Aeronautica and 40k. Aeronautica as the Space Marines fly into atmosphere or trying to escape all the Dakar jets closing in on their location.
That sounds fucking cool, Trout. Thank you so much for the 10. So yeah, so I mean, you are right, Easton. It doesn't bring in more super chats, but I sometimes purposely make decisions that make us that make sure we don't come across like we're just beggy, you know, because I'm conscious of that and I don't like it. So the reason why I don't want to do the crowdfunder for the studio, for example, because I just don't like the optics of, hey, you know, you guys pay me money, basically, so I can do 40k for a living and hopefully offer you guys some form of entertainment, and you kind of get value from the channel, from the community, from the Discord, and from the entertainment we're trying to give you. And the driver that I tell to all the lads all the time is, we entertain first, we entertain first, we entertain first. Right? That's the big key. We entertain, we entertain, we entertain. We want to be entertaining. We want people that watch the content to get value from our content. So rather than pay me money because I put effort in and I deserve it, it's more of a case of donate to the channel because you get value from it and you think it's worth investing into. Okay. So we try and offer value for money, and I hope that a lot of the reasons why people donate and gift super chats and gift memberships and do super chats and stuff is because they see the value. But you guys are incredible, and you are essentially funding me to do this for a living, and I'm very privileged. So sometimes I make conscious choices to not come across of give me more money, because it's just not great. It's just not great. It's not a good optic. So the fact that the reason why I can consider the studio, for example, is because of the generosity of you people in supporting us. You know, 80-something% of our revenue from last month was in memberships. Of that 80% of the revenue, somewhere in the region of 70% of that, 70% of that 80% was gifted memberships. That's incredible generosity. And I feel like if I go down the route of saying I'm crowdfunding the studio build now, it's a bit of a spit in the face. You've given me loads of support. Now please give me more. I don't like it. So you're right, there'll be less super chats if we don't do a chat plays tomorrow, but I want to add the value. I want to give the value to the channel, and I want to give the value to the audience. And I feel like doing a proper balanced data slate game with new Tyranid Codex, although it doesn't make me as much money, gives you guys better value. And that's important. That is important. Right? So I hope that makes sense. One problem will be you can't do it live because maybe you do a bad balance and one army gets blown off the table at turn 2 because it was narrative. If that happens for the dark, because we will, all our content's live at the moment. If we do that and it happens, we re-rack and we try something slightly different, you will have 3 hours of entertainment, guaranteed. You're not describing narrative though. Playing 2k versus 2k with different win conditions doesn't make it narrative. No, but you can have a narrative reason, Ben, as to why those win conditions are in place. Do you know what I mean? But what you don't need is an epic 45-minute story. Okay. Cole, thank you for the 5. There's a pint. You're a hero. What a legend. Thank you so much, man. Screw the optic. We know exactly what we are paying for. No, but that's fine for current people that have watched the channel forever. 40k Medic. It's not for the people that are new to the channel. Every week at the moment, I'm seeing names turned up that I haven't seen before, and some that I haven't seen for a while. And imagine if you turn up to a channel for the very first time, and all you get is, I need you to pay me more. Please pay me more. You need to give me more money. Please give me more money. I need you to pay me more. Pay me more. Like, you're going to go, oh, for fuck's sake. You know, we joke about memberships. Hopefully people see it as a bit of banter. I'm always grateful for everything, but I always am sat there going, is it too much? Because I have to mention super chats. I have to mention the fact that we gift 10% of our super chat profit to a charity. I have to mention it because that's one of my selling points to say super chat, because you're also helping a charity. I have to mention memberships because, like I said, 70% of 80% of our revenue, math, is gifted memberships. I have to mention these things. And I'm always conscious of, am I mentioning it too much? 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 And I feel like adding in a crowdfunder layer is an added one. And I feel like doing a chat plays tomorrow is worse value for the overall audience, potentially. And we're still going to do a chat plays. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's just about I've always said I'll be honest about it. It's just about how it makes me feel and how it makes us look. Chap plays campaign. That could be fun. That could be fun. I don't know how we'd make it work, but that could be fun. So you're getting back. I will join when I get paid next week. Been completely off interwebs for the last 6 months, dealing with my depression and concentrating on myself. That's the case, Yargrim. No, one, it's the right thing to do. I'm glad you're back, because I'm hoping you being back means you're feeling a bit better, which is incredible. Secondly, don't rush. Don't rush about becoming a member. Don't rush about jumping back into the Discord. Take your time. We're always going to be here. I will talk to you in the chat, whether you are a grey name or whether you are a green name. I don't care. I will talk to people who are in the community. Again, watching the stream helps us. Clicking that like button helps us. Not everything has to be pounds and dollar signs necessarily. When you do get back in the Discord, if you are going to become a member, don't forget, we've got the live support area. You can talk to people. If you're starting to struggle again, talk to people. Reach out to me, talk to me. 100%. We'll look after you. But good to see you back, man. And I'm glad you've taken some time for yourself. It's very important. One Shot Will, it's amazing how self-aware you are with the streaming and the finances, knock-on effect of viewers. Will, I'm just one of the luckiest people ever to be able to do this. So I don't want to kick people in the nuts by taking the piss, basically. You know? It's just, you know, I can't. I'm so self-conscious about money, especially in the modern day. Zena, thank you for the 5 gifted, you fucking legend. Thank you so much. Puts us on 129. And then Paul comes in with a 1, straight into 130. That wasn't, by the way, that little chat wasn't to get you people to gift memberships and super chat. That wasn't the point. Thank you, but that wasn't the point, right? But thank you so much, you beautiful people, for gifting. You're amazing. This is the first balanced data set I've seen where people care more about bringing down another faction Eldar than raising their own. I mean, they do need it, though, don't they? Entropic tyranny. They do need it, to be fair. They're like one of those storybooks with multiple choices. That's not a bad shout. Grim, same here, man. Glad you're doing okay. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. We can look after each other. So thanks for the kind words talk for him as well. You're amazing. You people are amazing. You chat are amazing. Got the project semicolon tattoo because of stuff like this. Got the project semicolon tattoo because of stuff like this as incognito. I don't know what that is. The content is unique and draws people that don't necessarily enjoy other YouTube content. Personally, I think crowdfunding should be an option for you. It was, Reg, it was. I had it on the table. I was going to do it. I even started building the crowdfunding page. Something didn't sit right with me. I was uncomfortable. And I was like, and to be clear, if you are one of the higher 2 tiers of memberships for the channel, and you people know who you are, you're special people, who are Thanes and above, you get access to a WhatsApp chat, right? And in the WhatsApp chat that we have, I talk to them a lot about the way what I'm thinking about, what I'm planning to do. What I try and do with the Thanes, because people, you know, honestly, they donate stupid amounts of money to support the channel. So what I say to those people is that I share my thoughts, and to some extent, not 100%, but to some extent, they get to help shape the future of the channel as well, because they are some of the most invested people we have, right? Which is incredible, and I love them. They're amazing. So, and we talked about crowdfunding, right? And I'll be honest with you, people. The only Thanes were, without doubt, yes, you should crowdfund the studio, right? Without doubt, they were. And that's why I started to build the page, because I was like, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't like it. I'm not sure it's great. Blah, 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 blah. The Thanes went, do it. Help get some help financially, blah 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 blah. You know, that's how it kind of went, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm wrong here. I'm happy to be a person who accepts he's wrong every now and again. It's rare, every now and again, and so I was like, okay, cool. So this is the plan. We're going to do it. No problem. I started to build the page, and I just sat there, and I had in one ear I had the Thanes going, you should do it, you should do it, you should do it, and on the other hand, I was like, I feel uncomfortable building this. I feel uncomfortable asking for more money. I feel like, and I was trying. Then what I did is I went away and I started building pledge tiers and what you got for your pledges. And then what I started to do was start to eat more and more and more into what the donation would be, so I can give you something back. And I'm like, at this point, I'm basically just selling merchandise. So there's no point. And I continued to not feel comfortable, so I stepped on it for a couple of nights, came back to it, continued to not feel comfortable, and went, no, I don't. I'm not going to do it. And I think the Thanes will all swear at me and tell me that I'm a fucking idiot. That's fine. They can tell me that. But I'm not. I don't like it. So what we'll do is we'll continue to work. So here's how we're going to do it instead, chat, right? So listen to this. This is how we're going to do it in chat. This is how we're going to do it instead. We're going to continue to try and offer you the best possible content we can, make you laugh and entertain you in the hope that you continue to donate and continue to support the channel, and then we'll fund it that way. If we have to use YouTube to donate you money for the studio, then they will take 30% of it. I don't know how much of a cut crowdfunding things take, but it has to be better than 30%. I mean, it is. There is other ways of funding the channel and supporting the channel if you want to. I don't often say this because it's not something I like to shout about, but in Discord, in the Great Hall Discord server, there is a thread under channel updates called Support Liam. And in the Support Liam thread, there is a link to my link tree. And there is a link right at the top of that where you can donate via PayPal if you want to. Don't shout about it. I'm not going to say it many more times, because YouTube does take 30%. But guess what? If YouTube takes 30%, I have to work harder. It's as simple as that. I have to work harder. Okay, cool. I'll work harder. That's fine. Cole the Drummer, welcome to the channel as a Hesea tier member. What a legend. Thank you so much for joining us, man. You're a hero. You can get yourself a Discord now if you want to. ! Discord for anyone who's become a member tonight. Get yourself in the Great Hall Discord server. Make sure you follow the instructions to connect YouTube to Discord so that Discord opens up properly. So Discord is locked behind membership tiers. If you don't connect it, it will just show you a couple of threads and you won't feel like you've got full access to Discord, because you won't have full access to Discord. If you have any problems, reach out to anyone who's in yellow, because they're the seers and they'll help you out. One Shot Will, I meant that as a compliment, by the way. It's an art knowing your audience. Thanks, man. What a hero. I appreciate it. I took it as a compliment, so don't worry, right? Don't worry. Oh, the semicolon is literally semicolon, honouring struggles in my past and 2 friends I lost in the space of 1 week to mental health. So it is a semicolon in a sentence as opposed to a period. I like that. That's cool. That's cool. I think that you're wrong, but it's your choice to be wrong. You will get there. It'll just be slower without the crowdfunding. Thanks, Kai.
We just don't want you to rule it out if it ends up being needed. Feel the love, big man. Just feel it.
Thanks, Alan. You're a hero. I mean, it's not entirely ruled out, but I just don't. I would write. You're telling me you don't talk about the PayPal link. I've been here for years and had no idea. No, I don't mention it. Because that's like, I don't know, it's even weird. Like, the thing is, right, Ozzy, when you super chat, you get a big colourful box and Amy reads out. When you gift a membership, it shows off that you've gifted loads of memberships and people go, oh, thanks for the gifted. When you become a member yourself, you know, everything you do on YouTube, there is kind of a return, even if it's just in the chat with a big colourful box. If it's $2 in the chat, you get a colourful box in the chat, right? If it's 10 or more, she reads out, you get kind of a return for the money you've put in. Yes, YouTube takes 30%, but you get a return. That's important, okay? If you donate via PayPal in Discord to me, the only person that knows is me and you. So some people, that's great. Some people love that. But then I want you to be rewarded for donating and helping the channel out, you know? I think people would pay to have games within the studio, something that clearly isn't an option in your home. That's going to be an option, Reg. We're going to open it up, I think, to Thanes and Aces to start with, right? Yes, and thank you so much for the gifted membership, you hero. You're right, we can't have an odd number. Right, here's something you don't know about me. I like everything in multiples of 5. I don't know why. I don't know why I like things in multiples of 5. This whole 3-6 thing going on with 40k right now because you can't take units of 5 irks me. I used to turn my radio up and down in multiples of 5. I don't know, it's weird. I'm just a weird person. It's a weird person. Oh, Incognito got gifted that membership as well. What a hero. What a hero. Unless it's 69. Yeah, I guess. I guess that's fine. Anyway, chat, 5 minutes. Tim's made it odd again. When are you getting more dice? I need to put an order in actually soon. What colours do we want, chat? Tell me what colours we want. Tim, thank you for the gifted. I'm going to update my tracker again. Stop gifting 1 though, because I love 8-bound, but they're a bit pants right now. 130. Thank you so much, Tim. You're a hero. Oh, Rory then. Fucking hell. Rory comes in with a gifted. Thank you, Rory. You're a hero. It would be weird if it's multiples of 3 or 4. Yeah. If I fly down for a game, can I stay at Joe's house? Yes. I haven't asked him, but yes, why not? Maybe raffle where the winner can do a pre-recorded battle report with you guys at the new studio. It's not crowdfunding, it's a competition. What we're gonna do with the new studio to encourage more people, perhaps to even just for 1 month step up to a plane racer.
Silly Liam. You are the reward for everyone helping you out. You are amazing and do great work.
I don't see it, chat. This isn't a plea for more fucking super chats and shit. I don't see it. We try and entertain, but we're just normal guys playing 40k. It's not special. Red and gold. Red. So people want the red back. Purple, grey with blue. Green for orcs is blood red. Purple, grey, purple. Okay. Okay, so we're going to get some more red in. The black sold pretty quickly as well. Do you just like 8-bound because they aren't divisible by 5? I like 8-bound. I hate the fact I can't take them in 5s. Pink dice, please. Thanks for the 5 scroll move. We're just normal men. We are, Rory. Just normal men. We're just innocent men. Just to ask, when I see all those gifted, do you have more members and subscribers? I don't know. I wish. Fucking hell, Fear the Dark. We have nearly 26,000 subs on YouTube. We are currently, at this very moment in time, 147 subscribers away from 26,000 subs. If I therefore had more subs than I had, memberships than I had subs, if you consider that a membership is $4.99, however, YouTube takes 30% of that, right? So if you consider it, and then you times that by 25,000 people, there's no way I'd be even thinking about crowdfunding. We'll be in there already. We'd be in there already. So, you know, that'd be the dream, though. 25,000 members, dream. You guys would get fucking daily content, without doubt. Without doubt. We'd have a team of fucking 6-7 people. Be great. Stupid unit sizes, I don't like it. Turquoise and black. Okay, I mean, there's lots of options. I think at the moment what I'm going to do is I'm going to order red, probably some more black, and then probably add in purple. I'll speak to Luce. Go purple. Cashing on the number of folks picking up Emperor's Children Harris armies for Fulgrim. I'm sure he'll be fine with it. Joe will absolutely be fine with it, 100%. Yes, he will. Absolutely, no doubt. Anyway, you people have been incredible. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Liam, thank you for the channel and the work you do. It's nice to see 15R like myself, 15 are doing myself something cool like this. Thank you again for the channel. Mate, Oscar, honestly, stop it. No. You don't thank me, people. I'm thank you. You don't thank me. That's not how it works. Pack it in. Right? Pack it in. But thanks for the kind words. See, I thank you. That's how it works. We're just here to entertain people. What happened to Super Secret Project? Long story talk. Not for now, because now is the end of the stream. Tomorrow night, people, at 7:30 in the evening, you will be graced with Mr. the Joe and Big Eddie. Chris is back with his paddy-painted Imperial Guard Astra Militarum to take on Joe, and more new Tyranids now. Crusher Stampede. You're not going to want to miss it. Hopefully, it will be as epic as last night's game, because that was great. 9:30 on Friday, we'll be back with my favourite stream of the week, 40k After Dark. We don't talk about 40k very much at all. We just chat bollocks and get drunk. And you're all invited. So come and do that, right? Come and hang out with us. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight on this fine Wednesday evening. You people have been incredible. I hope to see you all in Discord chatting away. I actually need to get in there more often myself. I've been really bad at it. I've been so busy, chat. There is some exciting stuff coming soon, though. If you had supported, did support, were excited about supporting Titans Terrain in the past, then that is coming back. There is a new version, a new Kickstarter launching on Saturday of Titans Terrain. Version 2 is here. 2 whole new worlds. 2 whole new worlds for Titans Terrain launching on Kickstarter on Saturday. I'm excited about this. I've been involved in the process. I need this Kickstarter to also go well. This could also help the studio, all right? I've been involved in the process. So check out that Kickstarter on Saturday. There will be content on Titan's channel, content on other channels as well about Titan's Terrain on Saturday. Okay, will you be playing with a balanced data slate? Yes, we will. We'll be using the data slate tomorrow because I'm pretty sure it'll be out before the stream. I say that. If the balanced data slate drops at fucking 6:30, we probably won't use it because we'll be live an hour later. Actually, we probably would. If it dropped at 7:30, we won't use it, right? If it drops at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll be using it in the evening, Liam, okay? So hopefully yes, but no promises, right? Anyway, so thank you so much for hanging out with us. You people have been incredible. I hope to see you in the next 2 streams. I hope to see you on Saturday in the Titans chat, being excited for the new Kickstarter. You can. There's a link in Discord. If you look in the announcement section of Discord, there's a link I think you can follow where you can also already put yourself on the notifications email list. Do it. Get involved. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you all in the next one.